We've all been in Glover's Block before. I've been in Glover's Block way too many times. And over the years, I've done all sorts of strategies on how to get out of it. From changing the music genre, to changing the environment, to watching different dance types or dance styles out there and trying to implement and get inspiration from those dances. But throughout the years, there have been 5 really weird ones that really did the trick. And so in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 really weird ways on how to get out of Glover's Block. The very first one, I'm doing it right now, and that's to randomize the colors on your lights. There's something about the different weights of each color that messes with me psychologically. For example, if this were to be like a set that I've always used before, for example, maybe like a high pink, high white throughout each finger, there's something very boring about that. There's something very vanilla about it, and something about that is just so common that it makes you glove how you always gloved before. But how often do you glove with random colors on your hands? Probably not a lot. And there's something about it that does, at least for me personally, it makes me glove differently. I like to think that these colors have different weights. You ever tried gloving with an all green set or an all red set or an all blue set and you find yourself gloving differently? Now try doing that with every single finger. It's really weird. I find myself being the most creative, landing on different points on my fingers I don't normally do when I randomize the color, and it's just simply assigning a finger to a particular color. It doesn't have to be well thought out, just randomize to one color strobes on each finger. Trust me, maybe it'll do something. This next one is an exercise that I like to call the playground. And basically what that is I'll just take one form, let's say a fist, and I'll just keep my fist and I won't be changing it at all. And I'll take a leading hand, this is my right hand, and what I'll do is I'll change my forms while maneuvering around just the fist. Hence the playground. One hand is playing around a singular form. And I love this strategy because it tests multiple things actually. It tests what angles you can make per one form, and it tests your discipline because as I'm doing this, I have the need to want to move this fist right now, and I think it'll do you some good when you're trying really hard not to do that. You're keeping yourself limited, which is a great way to build creativity. This next one is a pretty complex one, and it's testing your range of movement within a form. So for example, if I were to do something like this, where my middles are touching my pointers, I got a little contact here, maybe a little creature, call it whatever you want. And what I'm gonna do is I'm going to strictly test the range of movement within my thumbs. I think as glovers, we're so used to just moving our forms around and doing all our connections that we don't really give ourselves a time to breathe or really to figure out what each finger can do within the form. So what you could do is get into a form and test every single range of movement per finger. So with the thumbs, right? What can my thumbs do? My thumbs can do all sorts of things, right? It could move straight vertical. It could move to the horizontal both ways like this, right? It could trace the inside of my hand. I could trace the middle fingers, and that's a move. That's a gloving move, guys, whether you like it or not. Everything is on the table. So when I'm testing the range of movement, you know, I could do something like this where I'm just moving to the right and I'm doing this thumb movement. It's a bit weird, I know, but in order to create new concepts, we gotta get weird. We could do a circular movement like this, circular movement down like this. We could flap it, right? See how much different movements that we can do just with our thumbs. And it's great to just stop, take a breather, and test what every possible thing our fingers can do. Do that with your pointers. Do that with your middles, because now my middles can just do that. I could move my middle and, you know, do this interlacing thread here and move like that. Everything is on the table. So test the tools that you have within each form. This next one's a little bit weird one, and that's to wake up and lab. The moment that you wake up, instantly start labbing. I found myself creating so many new concepts with this strategy because when we wake up, we're in kind of like a different state of mind, right? I heard this from different podcasts out there, but when you wake up, you're in a different state of mind. And for me, I'm actually really creative the moment that I wake up. I'm not warmed up to get ready, you know, whatever I gotta do in the day. And it's just a different state of mind to glove. Being in different states of consciousness is an actual cheat code when it comes to creating concepts. Don't believe me? Let's try it out. And the next one is something that I found myself doing a lot more recently, and that's utilizing curves. And I don't mean curves as in whips or things like flails, but natural curves that occur within our body. So for example, you know, being clean in gloving means to create things like straight angles, right? But that's because we've been conditioned to thinking that everything has to be straight. But it depends on how you do the moves that makes them clean or not. So for example, I kind of like this curve that this thumb makes when I'm in this form, right? Some would say that that wouldn't be clean, right? Like you would want the hands to be straight horizontal or straight vertical. But again, it really depends on how you use it. If my move is simply to just start off like this, and if I were to just test that curve, see, like, I don't know, that to me is a very beautiful move. I don't know about you guys, but it gives a different feel to the move, right? It depends on how you execute that curve. If you have a form and you have a curve, but you're not really utilizing it, then I could see how that is not the cleanest, right? It's like, there's a curve there, you should be using it. So, whenever you see a curve, maybe even by accident, you might want to utilize it. And that could happen in things like this bent thumb here, if you're accidentally in this curve, right? Or maybe even this curve, right? There's nothing that we can do to take this curve away. We're born with these curves. So why not utilize them, right? So if I'm gonna come to the straight angle like this, come to the side, maybe do a trace and kind of accent, you know what I mean? Utilize that curve on our wrist and land somewhere else, right? The way that you execute it though, it has to be in a way where you sell. Otherwise it's like, you know, if you're very, like if you don't care about that curve, right? Then it's kind of like, not the greatest execution. But there you go. Those are 5 of some of the weirdest ways that I've gotten out of Glover's Block. Like and subscribe to the channel. Stick around for more Gloving Academy content. Peace. If you're looking for whites, batteries, skins, or any other gloving accessory, head on over to glow-leds.com and don't forget to use my code ALOHANATION for 10% off. Big shoutouts to all current Gloving Academy Patreon subscribers. Thank you so much for all the support. Seriously, guys. The Patreon's got weekly educational and never before seen content. So if you want to take your gloving to the next level and learn from me, come join the Gloving Academy Patreon.